Hey guys, it's Amanda and Baron, and we are back again with Kicking Cancer. And our sponsor for this second half is Venti's Cafe. They are amazing. My Grammy is currently in town, and she's really big on being a vegan and all of that good stuff, and just eating better, trying to stay away from meat proteins and stuff. And I was like, I have the perfect restaurant for you. And so we went, and she absolutely loved it. We got my sweet potato fries.
Of course you did.
And we got that nacho with the spicy jackfruit.
Okay.
And jalapenos, and the vegan cheese is super good. She was a little scared of the vegan cheese, and I was like, don't even think about it, and just try it without thinking like it's vegan, you know? Because she's like, cheese is cheese. Yeah. There's no replacing that.
Right.
And it was like, I agree, 100%. And she was like, wow, I'm really actually truly impressed. And then my nephew, he got their grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, okay.
And it has like 4 different types of cheeses on it. And then they put like Parmesan flakes on the top on sourdough bread. It was so good.
Do you ever get a chance to get the grilled cheese sandwich with the tomato soup? Because it's tomato soup has some pieces, some chunks into it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of good spices.
Okay.
But if you like to dip your grilled cheese sandwich in your tomato soup.
I do. That's me.
Yeah. So they really have a great grilled cheese sandwich with the tomato soup.
Okay. Okay.
And the other thing about Venti's too is that if you want to stay vegan, you can. If you want a little bit of meat to put on your stuff, you can do that too.
Yeah, they have meat options as well. Grass-fed, organic, awesome meat proteins. They have so many options if you want to do clean, healthy eating.
Yeah.
Or if you want to do wholesome food as well.
Either way.
Like my kids, they're not into eating healthy. So like he had the grilled cheese sandwich, and we had the sweet potato fries and the jackfruit nacho.
Yeah. And I would tell people that maybe you're not eating healthy, but it's healthier than some of the other options that you could have.
Correct.
Healthier than what you could have had.
Yep, I agree.
So
okay, let's talk GoTeams.
Okay.
You had mentioned that you guys started GoTeams and fundraising and all of that. Can we dive into what that process looks like? How does somebody sign up for a GoTeam? What all goes into that? What role do you play, and what role do they play?
Perfect. And that's such a great question, because during those first year and a half, people would run into people, and I could see there was something going on, and so I just wanted to help. I just wanted, what can I do to help you out?
Yeah.
But we realized as we were growing as an organization that really wasn't the best protocol system. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so we designed a website, kicking-cancer.org, and there's a spot on there you can push a button to request help.
Okay.
And I've gotten requests from Chicago and East Coast, and it's great they found us, but the reality is that we're not in a place to help someone in Chicago. But if I could find some ways to connect you with somebody, maybe that could be of help, right? Mm-hmm. And so then we began to try to find places people we work with, and I'll get back to that in a second. But when a request came in for somebody local, then I would email them back and I'd say, what exactly is your need? What are you looking for?
Okay.
And once in a while, they'd like, we need X amount of money to pay our rent. And I'm like, yeah, that's just not what we do.
Right.
Right? I mean, I feel bad, but we don't have this chunk of money where we could just
hand it out
to you.
Yeah.
But if we could get together and someone a relative, a friend, someone can help us spearhead an event that could raise money for you, we can help that way. Mm-hmm. And because we are a 501c3, all the money that comes into us becomes tax deductible, and then we can write a check back to you.
Okay.
And so we began getting requests periodically, and we try to do 1 a quarter. We've had a few times we've done 2 and a quarter. But I remember we got a request from a lady who lived in Lebanon, and her husband was in a band, and we've talked about Rebecca Smith, right?
Yeah.
But because he was in a band, a lot of the other bands in this area knew him and knew her situation. Unfortunately, he did pass away, had a massive heart attack. He had colon cancer, didn't realize it. And so the friends came together in a bigger way to rally around Rebecca and try to show some support. And that's how they become really successful. We did that one at Honky Tonk's Bar and Grill.
Okay.
And they reached out to me again about a year later. They said, hey, we have one of our customers that comes in on a regular basis, and he's dealing with colon cancer himself. And he does not He doesn't want to keep going through the chemo. It makes him feel like crap. And he just really wants to do this road trip across country.
Yeah.
Right? And they had so many connections with their vendors that they got an amazing amount of items donated that we could use for an auction.
Yeah.
And they had put together most of the work to make this thing happen, right? And then I showed up to be a support to their event. What they didn't have was an auctioneer.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, I can step in and help do the bids on the items. And it was a lot of fun just to see the people begin to bid against each other to raise that money. And he needed $3,700 to get on his road trip to Boston.
Yeah.
Which turns out that where his sister was at. But people, because of the support people gave him, he raised over $7,000.
That's so awesome.
And he had enough to not only go to Boston, but then to go down to the Florida Keys and make this wonderful full trip before he passed away.
Yeah.
So really, GoTeams are how can we work alongside your friends to create an event that would be beneficial for you. And then when it's all said and done, the money comes through us, not through a GoFundMe account, but through us, that is tax deductible, that we can then give back to your friend as a check.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've had the pleasure of doing ones for Russ Hedge.
Yeah. Yeah. That big concert that you put together.
And that concert was earlier this year. And
you got the venue, you got food, you set up everything, you put together flyers.
Well, and the great thing is I didn't have connections in Corvallis.
Right.
But his friend did. And so the friend was able to contact the Marriott down there in Corvallis. We were able to work with the Marriott to create a contract. They provided the food. We found a local band there in the Independence area that came in to provide the music. A lot of the people that do Russ then began donating items to use for the auction.
Yeah.
And so really the success comes not by us doing something for you or us having money to give to you, but us working with your friends to create a community around you as you're going through your cancer battle. And the GoTeams have been varied between a concert and auctions,
golf tournaments, disc golf tournament.
yeah. We just did a golf tournament for Elena.
Yeah.
And the numbers will all be in line here in the next few days, and we can get the check out to the family. But we're going to give her a decent sized check to have that family out.
Yeah. And what happened with that is her aunt. Didn't her aunt reach out to you?
Yeah.
And work side by side with you to figure out what to do, get her story out, and just...
Her aunt had seen some stuff that we had put in the Staten area, reached out to us. Pacific Stair had already said, because of things we've done in the past for their company, we'll work with you to do this golf tournament. And then she began reaching out to businesses that she knows to get golfers, to get sponsors for holes. So again, if it's really just upon us to do it, it isn't nearly as successful as if you get involved and you have a bigger reason to get involved.
Yeah, and you kind of almost hold their hand through all of it and help set everything up.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, because it's overwhelming, and you do this, so you know kind of the ins and outs. And I love your little catchphrase names too. Yeah, you know how it's always.
Well, in this case, we played 18 holes for Elena.
Yes.
There's always something to tie in the letter of their name with it. You know, we rally with Rebecca, and we've done all kinds of different things for
Dinner with Dave.
Dinner with Dave. Yep. Yeah, it was a ton of fun. But the other thing I realized, I think this is going to be critical moving forward, is how we can become even more effective by collaborating with other organizations.
Yes.
Other organizations that are well established that fit within the realm of what you are going through yourself. So one of them, I wanted to bring this up. One of them is it's a Breast Friends organization.
Yes, I love them.
Up in Portland, and they have their 5K run walk coming up.
Okay.
It is September the 28th, which is a Sunday. And it's going to be at Stickman Brewing Company, which is in the Tualatin area.
Okay.
And again, their great catchphrases, their 5K is called Support the Girls.
Oh, I love that.
But again, if you have something going on that I can assist with, then that's what we want to do, is try to send that information out about your event. And another one that's going to be a guest here in the near future is the Oral Cancer Foundation. And they have a 5K that they're doing in the Corvallis area. And then we'll be there to support their event. But this is the Oral Cancer Foundation's fundraiser.
Okay.
I think collaboration is just going to be so huge moving forward that we work alongside other organizations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another
more
one.
support even amongst organizations.
Well, yeah, if you realize that you're working together
Yes.
to make something happen, that's just so critical.
Yeah, and you're a nonprofit. You're in this for the people, not yourself.
Right.
And so helping other nonprofits and organizations and figuring out how to collaborate and just help more people together is huge.
And I think I reached out to some people early on, and there's a few nonprofits that get a little worried that you're going to try to dump into their donor base and try to get money from their donor base.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, your donor base supports Breast Friends. That's what they're there for. I'm not going to touch your donor base.
Right.
But if we can find a way to work together, and so Breast Friends has another event every year. It's in usually in late October. And it is where they bring all these women together that have gone through the breast cancer journey. And they'll have booths. We have had a booth there the last several years. So we're there as a resource for them. But I said, look, you have mothers going through breast cancer. May those mothers have kids. Why can't we find a way to work together when it comes to pathways?
Yeah.
You know? And so I've been asked many times, what is the fundraising that Kickin Cancer does? What's it for?
Yeah.
Well, the biggest bulk of it really is for that Pathways program.
Yeah.
We don't have a staff. We don't have a big staff that we're having to pay. We don't have a facility we have to pay for. But your donations help this Pathways program move along in a very positive direction.
Absolutely. One of the things that Pathways did for Silas was you guys went to Michelle Ashley's and did a cake decorating class. And that was really cool. And that was on behalf of you guys in Pathways to provide that fun interaction with Silas so that he could get his mind off of his mom's cancer for just a little bit. And that probably meant the world to him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I felt bad for Silas when I first met him because he was just going in the 6th grade. He knew his mom's lung cancer situation was really bad.
Yeah.
And by doing that, by doing things with the
basketball games.
The basketball games, he went bowling and was able to bowl alongside Domo.
Yeah.
All of those things took his mind off from the situation long enough to become a kid again.
Yeah.
And that's what Pathways is there for.
Right.
How can kids be kids? And Robin runs that program. Robin's doing a great job of running that program.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it would be great to be able to pay a director to run that program. Robin runs on a very small little stipend, but programs have cost.
Yeah. Well, like the cake decorating contest, bowling, basketball games, those aren't free, unfortunately.
Right.
And so you have to have costs for those to get those kids out and get their minds off of things.
And many people are good enough to donate stuff, which is phenomenal. We appreciate the donations, but there are definite costs that go along with a program like Pathways.
Going and picking the kid up, the gas to get there.
Yeah.
Back and forth. Yeah.
And one of the other things that they wanted to do is they wanted to find a way to get some more exercise in their lives. So we were able to use some of the Pathways money to get them a 6-month membership at the Croc Center.
Oh, fun.
Right?
Yeah.
So they could just go and do some exercise at the Croc Center.
Yeah. That's awesome.
During the holidays, we were able to go to Michelle Ashley and buy some of her cupcakes and take them to them as a gift, saying, it's the holidays. Here's a gift for you guys.
Yeah.
We've had a chance to take a young man golfing. We took Michael Brown golfing.
Yes.
So I think that there are many organizations that do a great job with that particular cancer, whatever that cancer is. But how do they do with the family? How can we help with the family?
Everybody.
Everybody
affected. Everyone
affected. And that's become a really big deal for Kickin Cancer is how can we then move forward with helping the family out on a higher level. So Pathways is going to be a really big focus for us through the rest of this year and the next year. How can we build Pathways out to a bigger level?
Yeah.
And who can work alongside to make that happen?
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that really it came down to the GoTeams, which is working alongside you to help your friend out. Education, which both of those had very minimal costs. So we were able to work for a long time on a very minimal budget.
Right.
But now that we've said, what can we do at a higher level, it took a little bigger budget. It took a little bigger money to make that happen. We've still been able to keep the costs down because we don't have a building to go to. We don't have a rent cost to deal with. But we want to make these programs accessible to the families.
Right. Yeah.
And grow that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so normally we have a big golf tournament earlier in the spring. There was a lot of golf tournaments this year, and ours did not happen the way we hoped it would happen. But we said, what do other organizations do as a fundraiser? And you probably got into things yourselves where they have a lunch or a dinner, and you bring people together at a table, and you hear the mission of the organization, what that organization is doing, and then towards the end they say, just pull out your checkbooks and write a check. And those are very successful, but there's a lot of them.
Yes.
And so we said, what if we put together a concert, and your cost that go to the concert is the fundraising?
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so we're calling it the Gala of Colors. And if you would like to, we would like to recognize you at the concert. We want you to come dressed in the color of cancer that you've gone through.
Or that you're supporting somebody in.
Or you're supporting somebody in.
Yeah.
We want all the seats to be filled with all these different kinds of colors.
Yeah.
And early on in the program, we will ask, if you're here supporting this color, please stand up. If you're this particular cancer, please stand up. And so those tickets are on sale now.
Okay.
There's an event on Facebook that you can go to. It's called the Gala of Colors is the event.
Okay.
But there'll be a link there to the Elsinore Theater, so you can go buy your tickets.
Okay, awesome.
And the concert is October the 5th, so it's 6 weeks away. The tickets are $55
Okay.
now. They're $65 at the door. But the person doing the concert is Jessie G.
Okay. That's awesome.
And some people in this area may recognize that name if you're into country music. Jessie G was an Oregonian. Turns out she did go to Linfield over in McMinnville, so she's definitely a local person. She was just in Sweet Home at the Country Fest.
Okay.
So she has come back to Oregon to get involved in other things that we've going on here. But working alongside Stephanie Bob with Northwest Event Planners to pull this thing together, to make this concert a big deal. And that's really kind of the big push for us as we finish out this year is, let's have this phenomenal concert. Let's use those funds to keep Pathway moving forward. Let's really focus our efforts as we go into the end of 2025 into 2026 as to what can we be doing better for families.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I agree. And if you guys don't do Facebook or social media, is there a link on the website, or do you want me to just have them email me?
Well, they can email you.
Okay.
They can go to kicking-cancer.org, and there is an events, and it does have this event in there. And that link will also take you to a spot to buy a ticket as well.
Okay, perfect. So you guys can email me, Amanda@kslm.news, or you can go to the places that Barron just mentioned. But I have no problem just copying and pasting and emailing you guys the links, excuse me, to all of that.
And I do want to give a shout out to these groups we're working alongside, because not all of them have been, some of them have been slower to respond, But Allison Hancock, who runs the Breast Friends organization up in Portland area, her whole organization does a phenomenal job with the breast cancer ladies. That was how I met Marianne McNally.
Yes.
Was through the Breast Friends group.
Yeah.
And I've had the pleasure of working alongside Allison with a couple of things that they've done. Had a chance to meet the lady who started the whole organization, Becky Olson, right? And so what Breast Friends does specifically for women going through breast cancer is great. And if you are here in the Salem area and you are going through that breast cancer journey, they have a support group that meets here in Salem at Salem Hospital.
Yes, they do. Once a week, right?
Once a month.
Oh, once a month.
Once a month. So it's the second Wednesday of each month.
Okay.
And they meet in Building C at the hospital.
Yeah.
Ironically, Building C is all the cancer stuff.
Right.
But it's just a chance for ladies to get together, share what they're going through, have other women who have gone through the same journey to support them
Yeah.
and to tell them what they're doing.
Okay. Do you have any like success stories that stand out to you in particular? I think my favorite one was, and I don't recall her name, but you gave her a check after the fundraiser and she was able to pay her home off completely. And that's got to be such a huge relief when you're going through these journeys or just coming out of recovery and trying to recoup and gather your bearings and get back onto track with life and
Right.
all that comes with it. So that was one of my really favorite ones that you've shared with me, is having her house paid off because of that fundraiser. But do you have any success stories that really stand out?
one came to mind to me too.
Really?
Yeah. So that is Rebecca, who lives in Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think why that one sticks out in my mind so much is that her husband was the one that had the massive heart attack and died.
Right.
She was dealing with borderline leukemia, but she also had MS and muscular dystrophy, and she just didn't know on a day-to-day basis whether her legs were going to function the way she wanted them to.
Right. And then just losing her husband.
And losing her husband.
to cancer.
And so that fundraiser did a lot better than we expected it to.
Mm-hmm.
And when I handed her the check, we got a wonderful picture of handing her the check, and she called me about an hour later. She says as she was driving away to put the check in the bank, she just broke down in tears.
Oh, I bet.
Because she realized that was enough to pay off her house and her car.
Yeah.
And her car.
And that's a huge burden to take off of somebody that's
Huge
just
burden.
dealt with their husband passing, all of their medical issues, on top of probably being her husband's caregiver for a good amount of time as well.
Yeah.
That's mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausting.
Well, what made that even a better success story for me is that she was able to begin functioning better. She was able to begin walking, and then recently got a job at a hotel down in the Albany area.
Okay.
As kind of their event person at that hotel.
Yeah.
And so it gave her a chance to kind of regroup her life long enough to get her life back on track with her husband passing.
Yeah.
She has since gone on and gotten remarried. She's got some grandkids. But who knows what life would have thrown at her if that hadn't happened.
Oh, yeah.
I think the other one that comes to mind, and I'm going to be thrilled to have her tell her own story, is Rachel, Brett Brunner.
Okay.
Because when I met Rachel, she was in a wheelchair because of the bone cancer and the surgery, right? It would have been about 6 months later that we did one of our workshop clinics, and she showed up, and she had to go up a full flight of stairs to get to the entrance to this room, and she did it all by herself.
Oh, wow.
She's gone on to throw first pitches out at a couple of baseball games at the Volcano Stadium. So again, that provided her the opportunity just to kind of get her life back on track.
Yeah.
And now that we have a community beginning to function fairly well over in the Bend area,
Yes.
they have their first GoTeam that they're doing.
Okay.
Her name's Diane, and she needs to get to a warmer climate. She needs to get to Arizona. And so really the fundraisers they're doing is to raise the money for the moving expenses to get her down to that area.
Okay.
And that's what I call that gap that needs to be filled,
Yeah.
right? What's going on that you just need somebody to help take care of?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love it if we got a massive donation from the Knight Cancer Institute and we had the money in the bank to do that.
Right.
Well, we don't.
Right.
But more importantly, when you work with your friends or their friends work with you, then there's a bigger buy-in from your whole group to make these things happen at a bigger level.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the other success story, even though it didn't end it the way that I would like to, was how people rallied around Ozzy. As we went through that whole journey.
Absolutely. And his parents and all that came with that one. That was a big one.
Yeah. We had a big discussion as an organization about, yes, Ozzy did pass away, but he got more time.
He did get more time, and he got to do so many things before he passed with money that was raised and his parents being able to be by his side during that time. And so he got a little bit more time than what he was probably promised at the beginning. And so yes, it was sad, but it was somewhat of a success because he got to be here longer.
Well, I know that the time that they gave him initially, we had the make it till his birthday.
Right.
And then his birthday shows up. We're like, okay, well, maybe he'll make it till the start of summer. And then the start of summer shows up. And they took a trip, and they took the family back to Kentucky. They did some phenomenal things there. So just giving a more hope and more time was a huge help. And if we can do that more and more, that's what we want to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. I love your heart. You have a heart of gold, Baron. I love that you want to help people.
Whatever we need to help.
Yeah. And sometimes cancer can be ugly, like helping that lady pay off her home and her car. Those are things that can just take a huge relief off of their shoulders and make it to where they can focus on their health and what they're doing and their caregiving or being cared for.
Right.
So it's awesome. I love what you do. I love Kicking Cancer as an organization.
Thank you.
All the people on the board and staff. It's awesome. So you guys are absolutely amazing, and I honor what you're doing.
We just want to keep growing and doing more to help out in the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to give a huge shout out to Venti's Cafe. They are absolutely amazing. If you guys want to try some vegan, vegetarian, or just yummy protein options, definitely go check them out. The spicy jackfruit does taste like a pulled pork. It does not taste like a fruit. So please give it a try. It's absolutely amazing. And we'll be back next week
as the movement continues.